Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Grow Your Path to Wellness. This week, it is me solo hosting, and Kelsi is taking very much well-deserved vacation, so we will see her back for next week's recording. Last week, we had a little hiccup with our scheduled guest, so our last recorded episode was bringing back Makara Larkin, and she was talking about the fear of rejection. So if you haven't listened to that episode, make sure you go back. This week, I am so thankful on Mother's Day of all days to welcome one of my favorite humans, fellow mother, friend, and my massage therapist and wax artist, esthetician. She'll fill in that word for me later. Her name is Gina Goodson, and she's going to be talking about the benefits or the power of touch and the benefits of massage. So stay tuned to listen here.
Thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Gina Goodson, sole owner of GG Beauty. I have been a massage therapist for 9 years now and an esthetician 6 going on 7. And yeah, you don't think like being in your career like, oh, that's like 9-10 years. Like, okay, that's, not really anything. But with massage, I mean, massage therapists work on, especially if they're active massage therapists, they work on 4 or 5 bodies in a day, if not more. So, gaining all this knowledge and all of, just overall understanding of people and, what their needs are and how massage benefits them is just, it happens so much quicker. So I feel like I have gained so much knowledge and understanding of the human body in 9 years that I feel like in someone else's career that, is not as progressed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'm sure I know, actually, I'm not going to even say I'm sure, I know from our conversations that it's much more than just the massage and that service with folks. And I'm sure we'll get into a lot of that. But, yeah, and 10 years is a long time, girl. Like, don't discount that. 5 years is a long time in any industry compared to your first year. Like, hello, don't discount that. That's wisdom. And I think the thing you're saying is that you always encourage yourself to keep growing. So, of course, there's no stopping point, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you for the background. Tell us a little bit about why you chose this topic today. Our podcast is holistic wellness, and so we haven't talked about massage or the benefits of touch at all. Why did you think this? Obviously, you do massage every day, so that's a relevant topic.
So of course I know the benefits.
Why talk about it today?
Because I really do think there's kind of a stigma with massage therapists, and I kind of want to break that a little bit. So the power of touch is amazing because it allows you to go into rest and digest in your body, which then helps lower your blood pressure. It helps increase that dopamine. It helps with your sleep. It helps with any tension, which is obvious. To me, it's obvious. And, all those things, especially when you go in with the intention of helping your body, that is really where the power of touch and the outcome of what you're wanting in your massage is such a beautiful thing. For example, so I think I've told you this before, that I was the massage therapist for the Indians affiliate, so the Akron Rubber Ducks. I was their massage therapist for about 6 seasons, and which happened completely on a whim. And
you're over here saying, I don't have that much experience. I just massage some.
That's actually what jump started all my experience, because it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to help this issue, I'm going to help this hamstring, I'm going to help this rotator cuff for a faster pitch, whatever. It was that nearly after every session, depending on who the player was, especially if, they were someone that they had estimated that they were going to go up to the Indians, I had to reiterate what I did, which isn't a problem because massage therapists have to do soap notes. But I had to reiterate it with the PT so we could kind of come up with a plan back and forth of how to help this player just excel, right?
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but for the people that don't know, can you share what a soap note is?
Yes. So soap notes are subjective, objective assessment and plan. So writing down what the client's issue was when they came in, or what their complaint was, the objective of what we're going to, the plan of what we're going to do, the assessment of what I found that was wrong with the player, and the plan of what we're going to do in future use or future time, to just help them excel. So yeah, I had to reiterate that with the PT, which then he would have to reiterate it to the coaches, like, okay, well, this player, they worked on this today, so I'm going to go in as a physical therapist and do this, this, and this for them. So that's really where my knowledge came into play on how, like, what the players react differently to. And what I mean by that is there was one outfielder, and he's not with the Indians any longer, but anytime that I would be coming in to give a massage for that day, he would make sure that he saw me, and it was almost like, it's not a psychedelic effect, but an effect where he just played better. It was mental for him. It wasn't exactly physical, it was mental for him. And whereas there was another player, now he had just left the Indians this past season, but where he had terrible hamstrings, just really tight, and the benefit for him was when he would be trying to catch a ball, his hamstrings would lock up. So that was more physical, where I had to use all of my female She-Hulk power to help release those hamstrings so he can run faster, farther, quicker, light on his feet. And so back to the first player, it was more so the power of touch and being able to align himself to be able to get ready for the game, be able to perform his best. And, upon thinking about all of this, I thought, like, I didn't realize this until I guess I was just in the industry, but players, they come in from all different states and sometimes all over the world. There's a lot of, men that come in from the Dominican Republic, and, they are leaving their families and their loved ones. Sometimes, yes, they travel with them, but a lot of the times they don't. They stay at home because they either have kids or they have jobs there that, demand their attention there. And, I was able to help give that physical touch that we as humans desperately need. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that everybody found during the pandemic, like, oh, wow, I get to see this person again and hug this loved one again. And I miss that. So I was able to bring that in and just help them recenter themselves and help them bring more calm and understanding to their game, to their play. And I think that's wonderful. And I'm so privileged that I was able to do that. But
I love that
it's all
so
about
much.
It's all about setting the intention and having a connection.
Yeah.
It's just,
I wanted to say, like, we talk about like the 8 dimensions of wellness from, like, SAMHSA, the substance abuse mental health. Yeah, we touch on those all the time on here, and we use them in therapy and all the things. And, like, that's all I'm thinking as you're talking that, and then integrated care, like that, like as you were talking about working with the physical therapist then, or occupational, I don't know if they have occupational therapists too there, but like that is true. And then the trainers, like everybody collaboratively knowing the assessment, the treatment plan, and following through on it and collaborating each of their parts is like so beautiful when it happens well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that because it is so important. It is so necessary that you have, I mean, think about people that have like multiple providers with different specialties, and right, and like they're all just not communicating, not talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. It just helps everybody in the end, not just like that person, you know. But
Yeah, and then you started to, we talk about as well the mind-body connection all the time. Like my whole practice is based on that. So can you share a little bit more about that? You started to talk about the intention, and I was thinking that too, right? Like with the player that you said it was mental. I'm like, he's setting an intention, like he's manifesting, like he's putting that forward into the world, and he's probably releasing some emotional things and some like cognitive blockages that he might have through that. And that's what I think is so important too, is like those rituals, those habits, those self-care tasks that we really like hone in on and make regular. It's not necessarily about like, oh, I'm really tense and I need to release. It's like a full, I don't know, like it's so much more than that if you do it right, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And, you know, actually just seeing a lot of my clients setting the intention when they just first come in. Like my practice now, I had someone come in recently and he was like, Gina, I just want to relax. I need this focused on. I need this focused on. I need just X, Y, and Z things on my body just really to be focused on. And he's like, I've just been hurting lately. And I was like, okay, well, let's, get into it. And by probably about mid-session, I had worked on most of the issues. He was like, I just feel so much more relaxed than I did earlier this week. This week was terrible. I had been working out a lot harder, and it was like my body was just bound up. I was like, well, I mean, that happens. That's life, And it was by the end of the session, I always call it massage drunk. When I open up the door, when they're done getting dressed and ready, and sometimes you just see the look in their eyes, just like, oh, I feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do think that it starts with that intention of, I want to get this out of my session today. I want to feel this when I'm done. And, or it can also be where the client can come in. There's another example. A client could come in just stark raving mad because of the day that they had, or the last few weeks that they had, because I don't see everybody on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So this regular of mine, she is a hairstylist, and she booth rents, and she was just having this terrible time with these other booth renters. And she's like, I don't need anything particularly done. She's like, I'm just annoyed. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. Like, she's like, I just literally feel like I need to get work done just to get it out of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need a physical. I needed a release.
Exactly. Any kind of release is just let it happen. And and a lot of the times with that, I will kind of poke the bear a little bit, like, well, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? What's been going on? Just because opening up, and a lot of the times just saying it, even if we as therapists don't understand, just saying it and having the client just talk about what's on their mind can be the biggest release of anything.
Yeah.
Of like any tension release or anything. So, but she went into it. She was telling me everything that was going wrong. And I was just letting her talk. She was just talking the entire session, just talking. And by the end, I was like, I'm going to use her name as Sally. Her name's not Sally, but Sally, I I don't know if you noticed this, but your shoulder tension and the trigger points that you had felt earlier are gone. I just, have you noticed that? Did you feel that? And she's like, actually, yeah, I don't feel like I have any anger or pain, like from this point. And I was like, I honestly think, Sally, that you just had to get it all out and have me just work it out, just get it all
You're
out.
processing in your brain, you're talking it out loud, and I'm like, it's like truly. So one of my therapists at my office does embodied therapy. So she uses like yoga, breath work, and then traditional like talk therapy together, right?
Yeah.
And so what you're describing is truly an embodied approach, right? It's like we're not just a brain, we're not just a body. We have to integrate all of these things. We have to calm our nervous system and teach it how to calm itself. Like all those things are so important. And I think people often realize or think that massage is just like, I don't know how to describe it, like a treat or like
Yeah.
or like a last resort when you're down, like you've given everything you possibly could, but it is so
Right.
therapeutic.
It really is. And that's, it's not just like, oh, I feel relaxed. Like, okay, yes, that is a minute portion of it in comparison to all of its benefits and how it can really just help you all over. I mean, it engages all of the senses. It really does. Between touch, so pressure. So if anybody asks, like, well, what pressure do you prefer? Not like a PSI type of pressure, but like light, medium, deep, right? And that can be for people's preferences, or if they have, major issues, or they just literally just want to go in there and relax and take a snooze. It can also engage the feel senses of like the feel of the sheets and of how the room feels. Does it feel at ease and at peace? Also with smells, so essential oils or something from a diffuser, or
The massage oils you use.
What's that?
The massage oils you use.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I'll spray essential oil with frankincense and lavender, and so then they just enter into the room. It's like, oh, this is nice. It just helps you take that deep breath, and
especially out of the hustle and bustle of the world.
exactly.
Right?
And then going into this room where it's just peaceful, right? And you not only get that with of how the layout is of the room, but just the sense of smell and just
the whole environmental situation.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I also wanted to say, because I'm a nerd and, we are clinical social workers hosting this podcast, so I always bring it back to all the clinical things. And I know I've talked to you about it before, is like so Maslow's hierarchy, you're creating safety, like you're creating the building block to then do the other work upon that by just creating a secure and safe environment.
Right. And that's what I always tell my clients. Like, I feel like, and I mean, we're all human, but I just really want to show my clients, like, this is a safe space. You can say whatever you want in here, and it's going to stay here. Yes, I gave examples, but I actually also asked their permission. So. But because, not only HIPAA, but, I want them to be able to not only center themselves, but, get out whatever they need to get out. I mean, I don't know how many times I've had clients just bawling on my table. And that really comes from the very start of that session, when you meet that therapist and what the room feels like and what it smells like. And even the biggest one, hearing, I always play like calm meditative music or chakra balancing music, or it could be with some of my players, they honestly if I were to start playing like the slow, relaxing music, they're like, Gina, can we change this? And it's like, yeah, okay,
they
this
want
is your
like
session.
hardcore rock or what?
It was some of them. Well, you know, a lot of them were from like rural country areas, so country music, which I don't mind. I actually love all kinds of music. So, and not that it's even about me, but yeah, country music, soft rock, classical rock, and then there was just a handful that preferred the relaxing, and that was usually for those who really just wanted to center themselves and really get ready for, you know, the high energy of the game, right?
I'm bringing playlist recommendations to my next appointment. I'm just bringing a playlist of all of the songs I would like to hear. Listen, I love chakra balancing and meditative music and lo-fi hip hop. It's my vibe. I didn't know I had a choice. We're going to start making requests next time.
Honestly, and you know, with some people that I get more comfortable with, or like the client that gets more comfortable with me, you know, I will say, like, if you want me to play something else, you can, like, we can, you know, I have Pandora, we can figure something out, right? Because it helps you feel safe, it helps you feel comfortable, it helps you relax, and that's my whole thing. That's what I do. That's who I am. But I don't know, I just really prefer to make the room and make our sessions, the most of it, the way that the client needs, and focus on what those needs are. And I think that's kind of what separates me from other therapists, where it's, no, we're going to do this at this time for this, and we're only going to have this, right? And, you know, I try and customize that. I mean, I have a general routine, but I try and customize it for my clients, just for the simple fact that, why focus on another area when this area is what's really bothering you?
Mm-hmm.
And I will encourage, like, okay, so say that they're having problems in their low back, I will suggest me working on their neck and shoulders, mostly because everything connects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything in the human body just connects, all the muscles. So working on one area is going to help that other area that you are having an issue with, because whatever has an action has a reaction. There's my anatomy and physiology. And so,
you watched enough Grey's Anatomy, you could basically do surgery at this point. It's fine.
Basically, you know. So I will encourage that, but my favorite thing to hear is when they have an issue and they come in, they're like, yeah, do whatever, I don't care, I trust you. You trust me? That's literally just music to my ears.
Mm-hmm. Yes, where it's like all in your hands now. You've built such a foundational relationship that they're like, okay, right. Yes.
Uh-huh. And I mean, that does come with time and patience and understanding and respect and
vulnerability, to just be like, here, you figure out what's wrong, and I trust you to fix it, and I'm paying you for this. So right, like, that's the other thing that's coming to mind too. I was actually going to ask you, and you kind of alluded to it, but for someone that hasn't been to a massage therapist, or maybe they've only gotten, like, I don't want to name like names, but like the more like corporate, like, where they're like in malls.
I call it a CEO type of massage.
Yeah, like, you know, you got those as gifts or things in the past. Like, if you haven't had a consistent massage therapist, or you've only had it at like a resort or those kind of shop type places, what are the benefits of, I mean, like, does everybody do it like you do? Is the question. I know the answer, but like, what is the benefit of going, you know, seeking out an individual massage therapist like you versus, you know, one of those cookie cutter type places?
Mm-hmm. So like I said, I know that I alluded to it. It's honestly simply, it is it's that click. You will better click with someone who you not only see consistently, but they start to understand your body. What touch will your body react better to? Then will the client be able to relax a little bit better because now they feel safer in this person's literal hands than someone else's at a resort that they will probably never see again.
Yeah.
Because the turnover rate for CEO massages, corporate massages, and like resort places, it's ever changing. So if someone who is independent like myself, where we build our clientele on our regulars, that is where you're going to find the most benefit, because we are out there trying to find a relationship with these individuals, a professional relationship with these individuals. To obviously the main goal is just to help them, right?
Yeah.
And whereas
it's almost like your primary care doctor versus like urgent care is how I was like, as you're talking, right? I'm like, can urgent care help in a crisis? I mean, maybe not a crisis, but like, you know, can an urgent care help you if you got a big gash and you need it cleaned up or you're sick or whatever, right? Yes. And should you still follow up with your primary care? Do they know you better? Do you have a relationship? Do they know your allergy? Like, right, without having to ask you every single time. Is the environment something familiar to your body, right? And like thinking how vulnerable you have to be to get a massage, you have to get undressed to your comfort level. But doing that with a strange person is not going to relax you enough to release the tension that you're paying to get released.
Right. And it's the safety, it's the vulnerability, it's, you know, all of those things play into how your outcome and what you get out of your session. I mean, I have this one client, and he has literally followed me from the very beginning of my career, very beginning. And over time, you know, we're not like friends, like we hang out outside of the treatment room. That's not really, you know, that's not the professional way, you know. Because, you know, we were clients first, and then we just have gotten to know each other so well over the years, again, 9 years worth, right? And it's to the point now where he leaves and he just is in awe. He's like, I don't know how, just after so many years, I still feel amazing. Well, it's because we have an understanding of one another. You feel comfortable with me.
There's a rapport,
Yeah, exactly. Building a rapport. And I say that because, you know, yes, we had discussed that we're mamas. I had my son 16 months ago, and I was on maternity leave for about 3 months, and him and a handful of my other regulars, they were like, we went to see someone else and we hated it.
I just didn't go to any, I just suffered for 3 months.
Or there was the people that was like, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't want to cheat on you.
I think I tried one, like through my midwife. I think I tried one, and that wasn't terrible, but yeah. Or my chiropractor maybe. But still, it wasn't a personal relationship. It wasn't you. I was just like,
right. And that's the biggest thing that I got.
My hunger, yes. Would I prefer a home-cooked meal? Much more so, yes.
That is a great way of putting it, by the way. I absolutely love that you use that.
Listen, sometimes the analogies and the visuals just come to my brain. I spew them out. Okay, Gina, I could literally talk to you all day because we are who we are. But for time's sake, for the audience sake, I want to be respectful of that. And you're always welcome back. Just know that. As a recap, massage is so much more than just like it's fast food. It's fast food, not a fully cooked meal. No, massage is so much more than just like a self-care day or a spa day type thing. It is truly a holistic healing experience. We always ask all of our guests, what will you leave us with? Is there anything like that we didn't touch on that you wanted to just talk about real quick, or any like mantras, quotes, and then where can people find you and anything you want to offer today?
I don't think so. I think the biggest takeaway of no matter wherever people go to help heal themselves is just set the intention before going in. Because especially most massage therapists are very intuitive. So if you go in setting the intention of I need to get at this out of my session, you know, with questions and discussions and pinpointing what your main focus is, that's really going to be the best outcome for you. That really is. That's simple as that. Setting the intention before going in is going to help the session from very beginning to very end. But with that, if anybody would want to feel comfortable coming to see me, I have my online website. It's ggbeautyoh.com, and I have a link to my booking site right there. So if anyone wanted to book, if they feel like, well, yeah, I could see myself working with her, I think I'd feel a little bit more comfortable, then book an appointment. I do 30, 60, and 90-minute sessions.
And people listen from all over, so remind us where you're located again, because someone might be like in California and be like, I want to see Gina, and then
that's not going to help anybody in California. So I'm in Fair Lawn, Ohio, Akron, Ohio. So when you book, so if they ever wanted to book, just use wellness 10 in the box, because there's usually like a notes section of what people like are wanting to do, and then I'll give them a discount.
Okay, so in the comment box when you're booking, put wellness.
Yes, that's it. The comment box.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We appreciate when you give gifts. That's exciting. So as long as people forever listen to this podcast, hopefully they want to come see you. And listen, I tell you, when you find your team of people, when you find your people, is the best way I could say it. Life is just so much more like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm never at loss for words, but like, it's like a it's like a level of already being settled, or like a lack of at ease, right? Like there's a barrier already removed when you take time to foster these relationships. Yes, it's exhausting, right? Like that many appointments, that much money, that much time commitment, right? Like, yes, there are things you have to give up. And when you reach that point of having like your massage therapist you trust, your hairstylist you trust, your doctor you trust, your therapist you trust, your Reiki master you trust, right? Like whatever it is, when you find and life just seems so much more doable for me personally. That's how I feel, right? When you have those people around you that empower you and know you.
Like, take charge of your life and your day, and
you're empowered, I think is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Oh, Gina, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, you're always welcome back. If you have another topic, or you want to get in deeper on any of these issues, please let me know.
Thank you.
And I will make sure that I put that info about your website, and then you want your Instagram link too?
Oh, sure. That'd be great.
I'll put that in there too, and then I'll make sure they get that code to book in the show notes.
Awesome.
And then for everyone else, next week, one of our favorites, Lisa Schaefer, is coming back. She's done a chakra healing series and talked about yoga and all sorts of things. And she's coming back to talk about, I don't think we've ever actually done an episode on like what the heck is Reiki and why should I do that? So that's not the title. We haven't come up with the title yet. It is wonderful. It's wonderful. So we're going to be talking all things Reiki next week. So make sure you come back and tune in then. And make sure you hit the little notifications button and get our upcoming notifications so you know when new episodes come out. And please subscribe. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.